My name is Emile Vidal Carr, and in this video, I'll be talking to you about 5 of the biggest financial mistakes that I've made during my 2 decades in the fashion industry. So number 1 has been being afraid of raising my prices. Now, I've been through, I think, about 2 recessions during my time in the business. And I remember there was one point where I started off making dresses for people I was probably charging about £50. Now, this was 18 odd years ago. And then as my skills grew, I realized, hey, I can be charging more here. Then when I got to the stage where I was charging £400 for dresses, I knew that the customers that were paying £50 for a dress, they wouldn't pay the £400. So I almost had to reinvent myself and delete all the numbers within my phone book and start again. And that was very difficult for me to do because I went through a period where I wasn't earning any money. So I had to reinvent myself amongst a new clientele that didn't know Emile on the come up and that knew Emile that was at the top. Also, there were times when I'd given customers prices. There's times when there were times when I gave customers prices and then I didn't hear from them maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months. And then they would come back and they would expect me to give them the same price. Now, whilst in one respect it might look unprofessional to change the price, but in terms of what's happened recently, where we've had an increase in utilities, we've had an increase in workers' pay, all those things reflect in the business. So you make the decision whether or not you're going to absorb those increases. But most cases you will have to pass them on to the customer, and it's just about making sure that they see that you're still providing them with the best service possible, and then they'll be happy to pay, well, hopefully they'll be happy to pay those increased prices. Second was pricing my products based on what I personally could afford. Now, when I started off in fashion, obviously I was a student, I was pretty broke. Fortunately, I've progressed to a stage where I'm financially okay. But at the time when I was trying to figure out how to price my products, I was thinking I couldn't afford to buy a dress for £400 or £500. And that was the wrong way to look at things because I had to base my pricing based on how much I was paying staff in the UK, how much the fabrics were, and obviously who I was benchmarking my brand against, the likes of the Victoria Beckhams, the Roland Murrays, the Rixos. So trying to price my product based on what I could personally afford was the wrong way to go about it. I had to look on it as, which customer am I targeting my product at? Where are they currently spending their money and how much are they currently spending? And once I figured that out, I was able to design a product that fell within that sector of the market and then worked around to create a message and a visual identity that met the needs and attracted that customer. Thirdly was not having a financial reserve. Now, there's been many stages in my business career where I've nearly run out of money or I've even run out of money. And this has been down to really poor financial planning on my part. More recently, when we had the COVID-19 outbreak, I would say that we had just upwards of £10,000 financial reserve, which was really needed at the time because we closed the business for 6 weeks. We had to pay staff wages, we had to keep utilities and running costs paid. And when the outbreak first came about, no one knew that there was going to be funding for businesses. And if it hadn't been for that financial reserve that we had, it would have put us in a very embarrassing position. And also, you treat the financial reserve as your overdraft. So instead of having an overdraft, you have that if it's £1,000, if it's £2,000, if it's £5,000. Once you start going under that, then you can start maybe panicking and putting certain things into place to ensure that you pull in more business to bring you over that threshold. Now, the next financial mistake that I very nearly made was accepting a full-time job in the fashion industry. Now, I'm not saying that to discredit, because having a full-time job is the best way to financially secure yourself. But in terms of the objectives that I'd set for myself when I first got into the industry, and that I keep on setting myself, it would have meant that it would have pulled me away from the dreams that I had in terms of the direction I wanted to take the business. Also, having a full-time job would have taken away the margin of risk that I allowed myself to have in achieving the goals that I wanted to for the business. Now, the final financial risk that I made, and this was the biggest out of all of them, was getting into business with the wrong people. So check out the pop-up that's just appeared to the video where I talk about how it all went wrong and how I lost that first business after getting into business with the wrong people. Always do your due diligence on people that you're going to get into business with. So those are the 5 big financial mistakes that I made in the fashion industry that I've been happy to share with you, and I hope you don't make those same mistakes yourself. Thanks for watching our video, and please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, because it helps YouTube to recognize our video as something to recommend to other budding fashion designers and fashion business people.